I'll make a couple of comments and then spend the rest of our 45 minutes together. Hey, Coleman, talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. I've had a couple people ask me about the FSA office, and we need to talk about that as well. We are, the economy's growing about 2 or 3% right now. That's just barely imping along. Probably needs to grow, has to grow in excess of 4% to create the jobs that are needed to soak up each year's new group of folks coming into the workforce, and we're not doing that. And so it's part of that's driven by the world global economy, but some of it is driven by things that are happening coming out of DC, whether it's the Affordable Care Act or uncertain regulations or over-regulations in certain instances. Then that, in my view, is what's stymieing the growth of the economy. The small business is going to hire somebody. They have confidence. They have confidence that their business is going to get a little bit better. They'll have more customers next month than they had this month. And that confidence is lacking right now. That's the case. So restoring that confidence into job creators in this country is going to have a long way toward beginning that to unleash that private sector that we're going to have to get unleashed in order to get ourselves out of this circumstance. We can't balance the budget with an economy that only grows at 3% a year. We've got to get it to grow faster. The economy's got to get bigger, and we can't balance the budget without cutting spending. We have to cut spending at the federal level. Now, this FSA office is a prime example. I don't know what's going to happen with it. We'll check into it and make sure that the system's being fair, that they're listening to you guys. I know you've had one public meeting, but we can't cut the amount of spending out of the federal budget. It has to get cut without some people losing their jobs, without some people not getting money from the federal taxpayer they're otherwise going to get, and without the services being either changed or cut as well.
You know, something that potentially could be done, that's, we understand the office will be closed, and I think we've been matched with Hamilton County, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not have them come to their courthouse one day a week or one day every 2 weeks, whatever?
Yeah.
So, you know, since they need to be over in this county anyway.
Well, that's what, we do that. Hillary comes over here periodically, sets up shop in the courthouse. You guys let us do it. You guys can get access to it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up on the mayor's comments. When you look at the process, they said, I'm not going to comment on the process because I'm all for cutting government and saving money. And if it makes sense, let's do it. But they said it had to have 2 or fewer employees and be less than 20 miles from another office. They picked the office furthest from our county. It's approximately 41 miles to Hamilton. Okay. 34.5 to Brownwood, 30 to Comanche, 21.9 to San Saba. Now they'll say, well, you can go to any office. You don't have to go just to the Hamilton one. But that's where all our records and our primary information is going to be stored. So they've already, I don't think they've been genuine to the process.
Okay.
They aren't following their own guidelines.
Okay.
And then when you look at, in terms of real savings, what are we talking about? The rent on the building, because they said none of the employees from this office will lose their jobs. They'll just be reassigned. So to me, when you look in terms of real savings, what they're going to do is make it difficult to access those programs. We're a rurally disadvantaged county. So this places a burden on people that eventually just say, look, I drop out or I don't participate. And these are programs that are designed to create jobs and generate revenue and secure our food supply. They aren't food stamps. And I think there ought to be a program. If you're going to cut every productive program that gets cut $1, you ought to look to entitlement programs and cut $2.
Yeah. Could agree with you more on the last statement.
Right.
I will bring up to task on the Hamilton selection of Hamilton, because if there's a guideline was the shortest distance, then
it wasn't the shortest. They said the only office they're going to look for closure, and Beth helped me here, was 2 or fewer employees and less than 20 miles from another office.
As the crow flies.
Okay. Well, I will ask you about that. When you're in a circumstance where you're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar you spend, that puts you in a fiscal restraint that's different. If there are grant programs already in existence for libraries that are competitive and you can apply for that, then we'll move heaven and earth to get your best foot forward on applying for those grants. There'll be no new money to do that with. So it's got to be already in existence, and I don't know if there are or not. We'll take a look to see if there are some grant programs out there at the federal level to do that. But quite frankly, some of the reasons why we are at this place is because folks have asked the federal taxpayer to do things for them that it's not the federal taxpayer's responsibility. Responsibility for the folks in Mills County and the library of Mills County is really with the folks in Mills County and not the federal taxpayer. So, but there's not going to be any new money available for the library. But if we can apply to a grant that's already in existence, we'll go to bat for you on that deal to try to get that grant. But it's not going to be there's not going to be any earmarks or money put in the appropriations bills to do the library in Mills County. And quite frankly, it's really not the federal responsibility.
Switch to water. Pretty important topic in Mills County. And, last year's drought, according to our county agent, cost us about $10 million in lost ag value in production. And the city came within about 100 days of running out of water. We were lucky to drill a few wells. But one of the long-term dreams of our community and something that we're working on right now is a small channel dam on the Colorado River.
Okay.
About a 15-foot structure. I'm just going to tell you the story. I'm not asking for any money.
Yeah.
We've got it funded. All right. So we have to work with a number of agencies, and I'm going to communicate this to Hillary, but where we could use your help is pushing the Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
They're going to be the lead agency on that project because they've got the jurisdiction. So what's interesting is TCEQ, they're very fleet of foot. They're moving. Okay. All the state agencies,
they're doing their job.
GLO, yeah, they all doing their job because they've lived through the drought. Now when it gets to the Corps, it begins to bog down.
Okay.
And some of the feedback we get is like, you got fish ladders designed into this structure? We're like, well, yeah, we'll design them in. Then we come back, do you have a plan for portaging vessels around the dam? And I get a little bit concerned because the river typically doesn't run 6 months out of the year. Yeah. So those types of expenditures add to the cost of our project. And I don't know if that's just a generic rule that they enforce on every structure that gets built in America, but I think there should be some sort of test, a reasonableness test as to whether or not that's really a reasonable feature that needs to be built.
Yeah, those guys, they build these regulations and you wind up doing things that don't make sense. But if you've been working with Hillary on this already,
I'll get her some information, get her copies of the plan.
We'll weigh in on the issue and see.
Yeah, and it's still early in the process, but we're already seeing that the various state agencies.
Well, sometimes just let them
pretty
know
quick.
that we're watching, even though it's early in the process.
Okay.
Letting them know that we're watching and paying attention to what's going on, and it'll get their attention. So
I appreciate that.
Be happy to do that.
Thank you.